we use Wistia Live, which is our webinar feature within the Wistia platform. It connects to all the different parts of Wistia, from editing your video content to hosting it to seeing all the analytics, and obviously the integration into the HubSpot platform that shows you all of the engagement data on both webinars and video content that you host in Wistia, which I'm going to show you guys some behind the scenes stuff. So first, you've got your webinar, you've got your landing page set up to drive those registrations, all the promo that Jared was talking about with your partners, you're driving them all here. So this is a Wistia-hosted landing page for your webinars. All of those and all of this form information are directly integrated and synced over to HubSpot after you start collecting those registrations. So I'm just going to pull up and show you guys what that looks like in the back end. These forms are fully customizable. You can add custom fields. You can toggle these on and off. So if you don't want to collect phone numbers, because no one gives phone numbers anymore, you can do that. And then you're just going to pick the integration list that you want to send all these registrations over to. So you are starting to promote your webinar, and you are starting to collect all those registrants and those potential customers, potential partnerships, potential really people in your audience that you want to grow a relationship with. And so all of those registrants are getting funneled into the HubSpot platform. This is real time. You can see them come in one after another after another. I remember I used to watch that when I was actually running webinars for companies, just getting so excited seeing that list being built out. So all of that information is flowed over here. You can see all of the data. You can see who's getting assigned to. This is live data. This is from our webinar that we did in October. And so this is a really seamless way to start building out that audience for that webinar. Once the event is over, so you've done all your promo, you've had the webinar, it went completely like without a hitch, it was amazing, you had thousands of people there. Now it's time to follow up with those people that actually attended. So I want to call out one thing here. Wistia right now is working on ways of pulling in webinar level engagement data. So let's say I attended today's webinar. At some point, you'll be able to actually see that as a field in HubSpot and say, okay, that person had an attendee status, and I can set up workflows based on that status. Right now, you have to use a list. So you download and upload, like we've been talking about CSVs. You download the attendee list from Wistia and upload it into your HubSpot account. And then you can set up workflows based on that attendee list. So this is just a simple workflow to send a follow-up email after the webinar is over. Again, this will soon be automated with an attendee status that will be porting over into HubSpot from Wistia. So that's just one workflow, using workflows to do your webinar follow-up. But then you really have to think about, what do we do with these people? Who are they? How is our sales or CS team going to be engaging with them? What are the best people to bubble up to really our SDR team to start doing some outreach? Now, I have done so many webinars on my own, and I know that not everyone that attends a webinar is a hot lead. So we want to use not only attendee data, so when they actually attended a webinar and which ones, but also layer in video engagement data from Wistia. So you'll see here on this list, you're able to actually filter out people that have watched a specific video using their media ID, which lives in Wistia, and the percentage of how much the videos you are looking to filter in they've watched. So this is actually showing all of the videos that live on our watch demo page on Wistia.com. This is a very popular page because it has a lot of in-depth videos around our product. There's a very long video that shows you everything, but then if you scroll down, you can actually see even more video content on specific features and functionality of Wistia. So what we've done is we've pulled in the media IDs of all those videos and said, okay, someone that has watched at least 25% of any of these videos and attended a number of different webinars. This list has got a lot of filters on it, but just to keep it high level. And so I'm really saying, okay, these people attended this webinar with our partners, and they watched at least one of our product videos, maybe more. And that, for me, means that they are high intent. They are someone that our SDR should reach out to, answer any questions that they might have from the webinar, but also point out, hey, I saw you were watching one of our demo videos. What did you have thoughts on? What questions did you have? And so let's say the SDR is reaching out to Mike. This is a real lead. And the SDR wants to get prepped for that call. So they can go into the contact record and filter out all of these different data points that you can pull from and look at just the video data if you want to. Obviously, this would be a layer of what the conversation would be, but just for the purpose of this demo. So you'll see that Mike registered for a webinar back in January. He played 100% of this Wistia versus YouTube feature video, which is like a very high intent video for us. It means someone's really interested in buying Wistia and potentially moving off of YouTube. And then you scroll down, you can see, oh, Mike watched that demo video that's on wistia.com. So the really cool thing is the SDR can actually click into this link and view the video without leaving HubSpot. So keeping that efficiency and saving time. I won't turn the sound on, but they can even hear what's the audio of this video. And then another cool feature is that you can see the timeline or the heat map of someone watching your video. So if there's like orange or red parts of this heat map, that means that someone paused and rewatched. So the sales rep can actually see, oh, they're rewatching this part of the video about our editor. I need to talk to them about that. And you can layer in all of those little details that really, again, meets the person where they're at and really pinpoints what they're trying to get solved in terms of their pain points. So now you're ready to like start reaching out to Mike. You've got a full picture of what he has looked at in terms of your video content, but also layering, your email, your social engagement, your website traffic, all of the things that you can see on this contact record. And so you're ready to pass these leads off to sales, which is the exciting part. It's off your plate. Now it's on their plate. So there's a lot of benefits to using these two tools together. And obviously all of the tools bringing so much data and enriched information to your CRM using HubSpot. But it really just shows the breadth of engagement of a contact. And you really can get a picture of what content they're interested in, what they're really focused on at any given moment, and really bubbling up those highly engaged and ready to buy prospects for your sales team. And so this can be done in a number of different ways, but using Wistia's engagement data, you're able to see what video content they're engaging with and are really interested to follow up on.
Well, Taylor, this is super cool. I guess some thoughts here and maybe a little question for you. Like, one of the big things about HubSpot, especially in the contact record and this timeline, but also just talking about connected data, we're looking at video engagement and Wistia information alongside all of your other marketing and sales efforts all in one place. So we're not only looking at, thank you, doing the demo for me. I appreciate that. That timeline of all of the things that you can sync into the contact record to get a full picture of this person. And so you're intelligently speaking to them, maybe when you're the SDR, giving them a call and say, hey, we've reached out to you in the past, or here's the kind of videos you were looking at. I've got some other things maybe you're more interested in. Taking a look at how someone's engaging with video content alongside their emailing, alongside page views, alongside all of these other marketing touch points is gold, being able to compare those and seeing what's most effective. So it's really cool that this was the integration can really put that on here. One thing about this though that I'm curious about is conversions. Like, does Wistia help facilitate actual conversions? Maybe you don't have this person in your HubSpot database or your CRM database. Like, what does that mean if someone is taking a look at a video pre-conversion or pre-filling out a form?
Yeah, so I think the webinar tactic is such a great way to drive net new contacts to your database, especially if you're doing it with partner marketing. You're going to get in front of those audiences that are net new to you. So this is a great way to convert people, net new people. But like you said, layering on that video engagement data. What if someone just watched the video, but you don't have their contact information, you don't have a way of actually knowing who they are? So Wistia tracks a very similar activity in our platform of people watching content. And then when they convert, all of that data is put into their new contact record in HubSpot, because now we know who they are, but we have a history of what they've already watched and interacted with. That's one piece. The other piece is that you can actually put forms on your video. So this, I've already filled out the form on this video, but when you hit play on our demo video, a form will actually pop up and you'll be able to fill it out and convert people just so they could view a video. So we don't recommend doing this on a lot of videos, and we definitely focus these on bottom of the funnel videos, but you can use the forms that live within the video to convert people. There's other ways of doing like little CTAs that pop up. This video actually shows a lot of those things real time if anyone wants to go and check it out.
I want to like double click on how amazing it is that once they fill their first form, all of their historical Wistia data is then added to their contact in HubSpot, because if that didn't happen, like, and someone converted, you'd be like, oh, this is a low intent lead. They just downloaded this PDF, like SDR, don't reach out. But It's like they could have done everything. Their research could be done. They could be ready to buy, like, and you just wouldn't know, you know?
Yeah, like you could see Mike loves our videos, which is really fun to see. But like not having all this context, you might think he's only like registered for a webinar in January, and you're like, oh, I'm not going to reach out to Mike. He's barely engaging with our brand yet. So yeah. Very
cool. Thank you, Taylor. I have so many more questions for you, but I do also want to get to some questions from within the chat. So Kurt asked a question earlier about sending chat engagement from contacts in webinars to HubSpot. And I also see that Jean responded there, but I guess, do you have any insight onto if people are engaging during the webinar, piping that into the HubSpot contact record?
Yeah, that's a great question. I wonder what Jean said. Jean's our product manager on live, so he's here getting the questions answered that I don't have.
Got it.
But I can't find what he said, but I definitely
can read it.
That's okay. I definitely think that's something that we're considering, because there's so much engagement data on the Wistia live webinar analytics in the back end. Not only like chats, volume of chats, attention span of people. So if people are actually on your webinar but not watching, you can actually see that. So I know we're working on all of that engagement and activity data, so you understand what people are actually doing when they're at your event, and being able to pipe that into HubSpot to be able to target and segment and build lists on. So that's like the next evolution of Wistia Live and analytics.
Very cool. All right, we've got another question from Samantha. I still get torn about this. From a brand marketing perspective, which videos have you seen are more trusted? Polished/edited ones or raw/unedited ones? Honestly, I love this question. This is fun.
This question. Yeah, we get this question a lot. And I think it's because historically polished videos were like the gold standard. And if you didn't have a polished video that cost you like $30,000, it wasn't like worth doing. And that is like not the case anymore. Like case in point, we're all on this virtual webinar right now, and we all look pretty good on camera, and you can turn all of this recording into a video. The bar of quality and getting information in front of people is just lower for a good reason. You know, social media, TikTok blowing up during COVID really allowed brands to also say, hey, I can just be on my phone talking to my audience, being more real and more human than having to get like a whole studio set up and film a video, you know, with lights and big cameras, because information is flowing so much. And, you know, we talked about the attention span of people. Video has become a medium for any kind of content. We do talk about quality in terms of like the risk that it takes, or the risk of the video. So let's say our homepage video on Wistia.com, we would be really worried if this was like a unpolished video, because it's a high risk piece of content. It's the thing that everyone is going to watch and listen to as soon as they land on Wistia.com. And if it didn't look great and it didn't represent our brand values and it didn't have clear product screenshots, we probably wouldn't be as trusted. But when you're sending a follow-up email to a prospect, let's say a sales rep is reaching out to Mike, speaking to camera just like this and saying, hey, Mike, like looking forward to talking to you next week about Wistia and HubSpot, that's totally fine. So it's really just like a matter of what's the risk of that video being lower quality. And if it's really low and it's quick and you're just trying to connect with people, it's okay.
It's a good point. I also think we've been talking about relationships here and relationship building and rapport building. Hot take, I think showing the human side of yourself and of your brand, and it has to be authentic, because people can read you, right? They know if you're not being authentic as a brand, which is a weird thing to say. Like a brand is a brand, not a person. But authenticity in video editing, like I personally engage more when someone gives me a little bit of the behind the scenes and it's a little bit more raw and unpolished, or maybe they don't have a fancy microphone or setup, or maybe they're sitting at their desk at work with people around them and, you know, their hair's doing fine, like myself, you know, it's just given a little bit more of an actual person. So it's super cool take there.
I would also say like the content that people are interacting with all day on Instagram or TikTok, like those people are, yes, they're creators, but they are individuals. They're individual brands in some cases. And so companies like us have to actually bring people to the forefront of our messaging and our channels, because that's what people are interacting with outside of interacting with brands. You know, they're interacting with influencers, with their friends, you know, and so we've seen success actually putting like our CEO and our head of video production in the forefront of our content strategy and having them do videos on their own, because people are connecting with individuals more on social. And even LinkedIn is prioritizing individual accounts, like professional creator accounts, over brand accounts right now. And so you have to think about who is the face or the voice of your brand.